Welcome back, everybody, to Sicilian Queens with the Sicilian guy, Alessio, from New Jersey, all the way.
Hello, everybody!
Comical genius! Comical genius!
Wow! Okay, sure.
Lui mi sembra una bottiglia di champagne. Sai che
No, basta però.
È prosecco! Che mi dici tu champagne? È prosecco!
Champagne, prosecco!
Sogno una bottiglia d'acito, sogno io!
D'acito? Oh my God, hang on a minute, I don't know what's going on here. You there?
Yeah?
Oh my God. Okay.
C'è?
Oh, just my computer's playing up.
Ok, allora,
Sogno
dimmi,
una bottiglia
l'acito
d'oliva!
no!
Occhio d'oliva, sogno io!
Oliva bella virdi.
Extravergine!
No, tu c'hai un peperoncino, tu sei un peperoncino, sai quando hai un peperoncino tu? That's what you
Mi fate
are.
diventare rosso, mi fate diventare come le nostre arance. You know, we have blood oranges, the best oranges in the world.
Ah,
Don't tell us about blood oranges. I make everything with blood orange when they're in season. Oh my God.
me too.
Oh,
Cofinocchio, my nonna.
brava, con l'insalata, è vero?
Yeah.
Brava Lina, tu mangi buona, io saggio.
Can't you tell? Can't you tell? I've patted it on all the right places.
Io ho venuto a casa a mangiare, Lina!
Lina cucina
Tu mi fai
buona.
mangiare buono, Lina!
I love I've got two brothers that are chefs.
Ma com'è che Carmela Ida è chef e tutta sicca? Ma come siamo combinati, Carmela?
Che io mangio assai verdura.
Senti qua, tu quando... Tu dico io come si fa un chef. Quando uno fa un chef, o che tu mentre cucini a mangiare.
E chi sei a cosa? Io mangio e quando mi settari a mangiare non dai più fame.
It's true, a verità.
That's what I do too. That's what I do too.
Diamo in senza per tutti.
Yeah.
No, perché questo? Non saggi questo. Quanto saggi questo? Quanto saggi questo? Saggi che è finito.
È tempo finisci di cucinare e si sazia.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Allora, dimmi tutto.
Tu dimmi una storia.
Tell us the
I'll tell you a
joke.
story. Absolutely. The thing about being an Italian Sicilian man, okay? So, I am 39 years old. Va bene?
Yeah.
In my mother's eyes, io c'hai 5 anni, c'hai. Mi chiama 43.000 voti giorno. 43.000 voti giorno per domandarmi. You know, to ask me what? Tu dico io. Ma domani se mangiavo. 43.000 voti al giorno mi chiama per domandarmi, Ale, yeah, ma mangiaste? What do you think? I'm going to starve myself to death? Of course I ate. Now, every single so I'm living that true Sicilian life where my mother thinks I'm 5. She wants to know everything about the girls that I date. Come si chiamano, a qua appartengono, qua famiglia, e qua padre, e se brava, e se cucina, e se polizia, e se lava, e se fa, e se dice. So it's a constant battle with her, okay?
I know, but does any woman, the woman that she wants you to be with is a goddess, right? And no, there's no gods and goddesses out there that have been painted with a brush that are so perfect based on what her expectations are.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what expectations do you have? You think I'm going to find somebody like old school like you? Ma manca esiste anyway. It doesn't even exist. Her expectations are just way top aside. You know what I mean? So what I do is...
Has that created extra pressure for you to, because you're single, you said you were single. Has that created extra pressures for you? And do you hear your mum's voice in the background when you meet people?
When I meet someone, That absolutely. To answer that question is yes, and then I'm gonna follow it up with, I meet someone and I might like her, and I already know that my mom is not gonna like her. Like, I already know. Like, because I could see things that I could. I look and I figure in my head, like, I could live with that, but I know in back of my head that my mom's gonna have a problem with it. I know she's gonna have trouble with it. Che poi manco c'entra ida perché mi c'è che da quiccare io, mi c'è che da quiccare.
It's so true. Like, I mean, I've been single for 9 years, and every person I've met along my journey, I don't just have my mother's in my ear, I have my children in my ear. It's like nobody that I will meet will be introduced to any of my family unless it's a long time, because you have them in your ear.
And that's a perfect example of what you said, because no matter how much we think that we don't like what we hear from them, but we hear it so much that we don't even notice, and it gets embedded. It gets embedded, and it's like to the point where either you do it without even noticing, and you react and act on something based on the things that they embedded in your head.
Yeah,
and it's
and that's a behavioral change, and to undergo that behavioral change takes many years of disassociation.
It takes generations. The next generation's going to change it.
Incredible.
Sì, però a me non mi interessa perché you know what I do?
Yeah, I know what you
I
do.
purposely mess with my mother. Io faccio un cazzara poi se la faccio arrabbiare. I don't care. Now I tell her tutte cose che io non ci piacciono, I tell her that I do.
I told my mother just 2 weeks ago
Ida mi dice, ma tu quando usciste a una femmina perché ti vedo che tu parli con la femmina, ci si ma and I made a video about it. E io ci dissi, ma però ci sei un'italiana, you know? She goes, un'italiana, che cos'è? And I mess with her, ci dico che è cinese, ci dico certe volte ci dico che è giapponese, or I tell her that, I just tell her different races.
You keep her young. You keep her young.
Indiana.
Ci fa vendere la pressione.
Yes, brava.
She's gonna have 20 liters of coffee in a day. She won't sleep.
But it's funny because with everything that I say to her, she has the same thing to say about everybody. Ma chissà che fa? Ti pulizia, ti cucina, ti lava i robe. It's just, it's literally insanity. It's insanity.
You won't find a woman che ti lava e roba, ti stira e roba.
Tu ce la lava.
Ma che mi interessa? Io sul mio modello mi lavo io il roba. Mi cucino.
When I got married to Marco,
I'd love to meet a great Sicilian man that can cook. I would love to meet a great Sicilian man that could cook. There's not many.
Io ti cucino everything.
Allora viene e mi cucini. Chi mi cucini?
No problem. Non ce n'è problema.
pasta all'aghielloggio e peperoncino.
Bravo, quello che sai, ti faccio
di formaggio,
ti faccio.
Ci fai il
grana padano.
Io ti faccio la pasta a forno, ti faccio la lasagna, ti faccio la pasta con l'aghielloggio, ti faccio la pasta con la zuppa di pesce.
No, tu ci affari. Alessio, ci affari la pasta chi sardi.
Vedi chi sono ma figlia la pasta chi sardi.
Allora dacci una bughiere che ti cucina.
No,
pasta chi sardi.
Sai che faccio? Prima che mio marito mi faccia insegnare come si fa la pasta di sardi di mia madre. I make her teach me.
La pasta chi sardi o la pasta chi broccoli.
That's another Sicilian specialty. La pasta con le sarde, pasta with sardines, you would say?
It's regional, because I'm from Provincia Catania, and that is not, I sardi and the raisins are not in our cuisine, actually. They're more on the coastal towns, more in Palermo.
Yeah.
Like
And more
mine, right?
Yeah.
And more from I'd say Taormina up, and along the islands.
That's
but
more
not so
anchovies. We use more anchovies than sardines on that other side.
It's not really central to, like, you know, like places like Militello, Scordia, you know, Pelagonia, Caltagirone, and you're going, even if you're going to Provincia Siracusa, when you're going to Ferla and Floridia and places like that, Vizzini, it's not really.
Però se tu ti mangi la pasta chi sai di metana, I bet you
will love it.
Pure un piatto te mangi.
Allora le cucine mi mangio.
Piatto Sallicca.
Brava. Carmela knows, pure un piatto Sallicca, vero Carmela?
Sallicca o piatto Sallicca.
Faccio la mangiare la pasta chi sai.
Ci faccia pasta chi sardi. Ci faccia.
Con i bucatini si fanno, è vero Carmela? La pasta chi sai si fa con i bucatini, è vero?
I bucatini.
E poi ca muddica turrata.
Ci viene a muddica, because a muddica is part of the cucina povera influence. We didn't have
la muddica turrata, no, la muddica turrata is a muddica tutta bella cucinata con
oh my God.
My mother, I'm not into waste, right? She gets my dry bread and her dry bread, and she puts it in Italy, and then she puts a cover over it, and she makes the bread go dry.
Yeah, she makes her own breadcrumb.
Yes, she does.
Certo, perché tu pare che noi siciliani ne accattiamo a muddica fatta da fuori.
Ma
no, facciamo noi la muddica.
Ma come hai ragione tu?
Da con se tu ci metti il tuo sale, ci metti il tuo pepe, ci metti il tuo prezzemolo, tutte cose tu a fare. Caccate muddica, caccate. Ma come sei combinata, Lina?
Lina, senti, io feci puppetti chisardi in my restaurant.
Beautiful.
Senti, e i puppetti chisardi ci misi a menta e dopo ci misi a muddica sopra. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
I sold so many of those.
We could talk about our Sicilian specialties all night because we have so many. And like you said, Carmela and Lina, it's all on every, it's beautiful because every region has that specialty of their own region. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like you go to Palermo and they have the specialty. You go to Ragusa, Siracusa, and Le Province and they have their specialty. It's amazing. It's
See,
really
our
amazing.
specialty where Lina is that area and where I'm from, I'm impazzesa for a pasta alla norma, chimulinciani.
Vedi? See?
E a ricotta salate sopra. E o basilichi sopra. Oh my God. Alessio, it is to die for.
I love pasta con finocchio asciutto. And then you know when you dry the breadcrumbs and then you put the finocchio in your pasta with the peperoncino, un po' di aglio and l'olio. That's our cuisine in my mother's town. So the wild fennel that's growing in the streets, the wild fennel that's growing up the mountain, and
yes.
See, as you said,
noi la chiamiamo la finocchina.
A finocchina.
We call it finocchio.
It grows wild in the streets. Brava.
As you said,
it's free.
Alessio,
It's
every
free.
region, 9 regions, 9 dialects, and so many different ways. So they use one framework of cooking and they mix it with different ingredients, with whatever ingredients is going in that region, they use that. That's the beauty of Sicily. The beauty of Sicily.
Seduction.
Look at us. We're drooling. I'm drooling.
It's the seduction of Sicily.
I know, io appena finisce il suo meeting, io me ne chiedo a mangiare. Minchia, fame, ma sul meeting io non l'ho capito sul meeting, a me la fame mi sta facendo bene, picciotte.
Andiamo a cucinare invece, no,
a cucinare. Mangiare di qua, pasta chi sai, io c'ho fame io, Ma quando è che finite? Can we talk about something else?
Ubani. Senti, tu mi dicesti che tua mamma è da bagheria. A bagheria, ubani è un sfincione that comes out of that
town. My mother makes it.
She makes a sfincione?
She makes a sfincione alla barriota. She makes it with Amudica with onion and it's un sfincione di bagheria è diverso dallo sfincione di Palermo. Lo sfincione di bagheria è in bianco.
Sì, senza salsa.
Ah.
Brava! È lo sfincione in Palermo, è lo sfincione che tu metti al mondo con l'anchovies, con caciputta, mudica.
That's the pizza, the oldest pizza in all of Sicily.
E poi c'erano a faccia di vecchia.
A faccia vecchia.
See, in my mum's hometown, in my father's hometown, the cuisine is not pizza, it is scacciati.
Scacciata, brava!
Yes, scacciati che broccoli,
Sì.
Casasizza sarebbe quello con la porca al feno, and then tomato.
Ma quando venite, guardate!
You know what I was thinking, Alessio? We should have a discussion con tua madre. You have to invite your mom.
Zia Benuzza! Oh, Zia Benuzza would love to be on the show.
We should have it. Me and Lina cooking and you and your mum cooking next one.
You should have Zia Benuzza cooking. She's a trip.
She's a sexy woman, that Zia Benuzza.
Yeah, isn't she cute?
She can dance, and I've seen her. She's got the moves.
Yeah, she's a modern Zia Benuzza. She's you know, her mentality is antica, but she's modern in the same time.
I've seen her move. She knows how to shake that body.
We love it. If you guys wanna, for whoever's listening or watching, if you guys wanna, meet Zia Benuzza, just go to one of my social media pages. You'll get to see who Zia Benuzza is. She's a true Sicilian woman, which with
Baba boom.
mentality.
Baba boom.
Yeah. You got the moves too, right?
Boom.
If you want to follow Alessio, he is the Sicilian guy. He's on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
That's correct. Yes.
And you are just getting your website going.
The website should be thesicilianguy.com, and it should be up soon. It's being worked on. But mostly my work is on YouTube, the Sicilian Guy Comedy on Facebook, and the Sicilian Guy on Instagram. I also do live videos. I talk about Italians, the Italian culture. I talk about everyday modern stuff. I talk about life. I talk about everything, relationships, and of course, I do shows. I do live shows. I do different cities in the United States, Canada, England, hopefully soon in Australia.
Yes.
So you guys get to see me live, you know. E poi me ne vai a casa di Lina o di Carmela a mangiare.
A mangiare. Alessio, you talked about your different characters that you channel when you deliver your comic show. Tell me, are they life characters, or they a blend of people that you know along your journey of life? Like, is it Zia Benuzza a real lady, or is she a mishmash?
Oh no, definitely. So my main character that I do portray is the Zia Benuzza, which is it's a lot of it is how I was raised. But a lot of things that she says or does, it is a mishmash of Sicilian women in general that I have experienced in life. So it is a mishmash of, it could be my grandmother, my mother, or a family friend. So these are all real people combined into one person. But all real life stuff. Like, everything is relatable, everything is real, everything that I talk about has happened. So it is a mishmash of the Sicilian woman put in one. Yes. So
okay.
That makes sense?
It's a tapestry. It's a tapestry.
I'm sorry?
It's
a tapestry.
Yes.
A tapestry weaved from all the little traits that you've gotten, and you've created that.
Exactly. So whatever I went through with these different types of women in my life, like I said, it could have been my mom, my grandmother, friends of my mother, friends of the family, which I combined into one person. But the beauty about it is that, you know, nothing is exaggerated or fake. Everything that I portray has happened. It's real. So it is very relatable and very real.
So it's
like
go, Lina, sorry.
I was going to say, like o conosce a Giuseppe di Palermo, conosce do?
All the time. And I get people approaching my dad and having these conversations with my dad, and or myself or my brothers. And as soon as you say, ma Runesito, oh, io sono in Palermo, ma tu a Giuseppe conosci? Minchia, ci sono 750.000 Giuseppe in Palermo, ci sono. E tu mi dici che conosci a Giuseppe. No, ma Giuseppe, figlio, zio, cugino, ricchito che aveva carnezzeria, che stava lato o meccanico. Like, are we for real? My goal. And then, of course, as Sicilians, what we call Anchuria, which is the nicknames, and every family has one.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to ask you that, because for those people that don't know Sicilians, we don't name people for what their name are. They get a nickname. You know, my dad's name was Sammy, Malgamano Semi Zabba, or my uncle was called Nascaredda. You know?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So every family in every area, even let's say you're from Palermo and it's a big city. So because Palermo is such a big city, everybody in you know, it's known. You may know somebody from the actual area of where you're from. So like, let's say Carmela was telling me that her husband's from Badaro. So if there's people from his area, from Badaro, he might know some people, but he might not know people from my area because I'm from Zona Noce, Anuche. So it's but if you're gonna talk to me about somebody from Anuche, you know, they're gonna have a nickname, Anchuria, c'è Nino Zoppo, or Giuseppe Cuito, or you know,
or Pedalongo,
oppure Pina, you know, Minne Calate, whatever.
The most funniest Anchuria I heard was Giuseppe Pisciaporta.
You know what I'm saying? And some of them are hilarious. Some of them is like Pina Mussuriculo. Like the nicknames are insane. You know, they're just funny shit. You know, it really is. I'm not gonna lie. It's so funny. You know, and that's what makes us also that's what makes us unique too. You know.
But that's another discussion. And I'm just wondering whether, do you think the generations? I mean, you're younger than us. So do you think the generations, perhaps in the 20s and the teens, cringe when they hear about the behavior and all this chitter chatter and the different mindsets of our parents, and they're not, because they're modern day people, they cringe and they try to hibernate and hide their Sicilian influence? How do we elevate that and say it's okay to accept the differences between the different generations and accept the cultural differences within the regions of Sicily? How do we nurture that? Because I mean, my children do it well because they've been taught the Sicilian way, but the next generation perhaps will not. And some of the things that our parents and grandparents have done, some people can find that quite confronting and quite, you know, antiquated.
Extreme.
Very extreme. So how do we nurture that and bring them along in the journey?
You know, from experience, whoever I've spoken to, and I do have a young following as well. My following goes from anywhere from, you know, 13, 14 years old.
Oh, bravo, auguri, complimenti.
Yeah, from 13 and up. From personal experience, I feel that the new generation does find certain things a bit extreme. They do. but I also do find that they do appreciate and value the Sicilian culture. Uh, from what I heard, and they contact me, and they'll tell me, they contact me, they write to me, and they tell me, oh my God, you know, you're just like my mom or my grandmother. It makes me happy because it does remind me of my grandmother. Of course, they are gonna have some, just like you said, they are gonna find some things that are extreme, and they're obviously not gonna use in life. But I think in general, most of how, if you raise them in the Sicilian way, even the modern way, I personally think that it's well appreciated. Now, is it going to still continue once they marry somebody from a different culture, or from different ways of living? Yeah, there still might be that little tiny bit of culture, but is it going to wash away? It probably will.
How do we bring them along to the journey so that they don't forget their Sicilian roots? That's the challenge, and that's what the little psychology that I'm interested in is. How do we ignite that and continue to say, you know, this is where you're from? Because if you don't know where you're from, if you don't know where your family's from, and I'm talking about generations, then you don't know who you are as an individual, because they shape our values and beliefs during time.
Well, you know what, and that's exactly what I was gonna say, Lina. At this point, there's really not much that you could do. What we do is pretty much, we use our values every day. Okay, so everything from a simple talk, or from a simple advice, or what we say in Sicilian, raccomandazione.
Raccomandazione, yeah.
You know,
Ti raccomando,
Ti raccomando, So, you know, that has to be all obviously in us. We have to use those values and traditions alive. You know, and it all stems from the upbringing of let's say you or myself. If we have kids, it has to be us personally to bring those values. And then at the end of the day, Lina, it's up to them if they're gonna use it. But I think because it's gonna be embedded in their head, I think eventually they're gonna use it. I don't think there's anything much. I think taking them on vacation, taking them to Sicily, showing them the culture, talking, tell them stories about the grandparents if they're not alive, cooking, the values, the tradition. That's up to us to keep it alive and install it in their head. That's it, really. And hopefully they do the same with their kids,
So tell me about, do you have a second occupation, or is your first occupation mainly?
No, I do. I do have a second occupation. I'm a flight attendant. So
wow.
That's where I go back to telling you that I travel the world a lot. I travel all over the world. I've been everywhere. I've been from 48 states in the United States to Africa, to South America, to the Caribbean, Europe.
Wow, what a journey!
Sei un zingaro, sì.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? And I feel I'm blessed because I love to learn about other cultures, and I learn to see other places, and I love to learn about other people's ways of living. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed. I'm a flight attendant. I travel a lot, and I get to see a lot. I get to eat other cuisines. I still think, no offense to nobody, I still think that the Sicilian cuisine is the best in the whole world. Our way of cooking is just amazing. And other cultures will tell you the same.
We're just about to run out of time. Sorry, Lina, I've got about nine minutes to go.
I wanted to ask about your upbringing, if it was similar to mine, Alessio, and that was that when I went to school, when I was growing up through my time period, and I thought I spoke Italian because I spoke the Sicilian language. So when you meet somebody who is not Sicilian and you think you speak Italian and then you converse with them, did you go through that process of going, hang on a minute, I thought I spoke Italian. What is going on here? Did you go through that process where you're not Italian, you're Sicilian? It's not like, yeah, bloody oath I'm Sicilian. Don't you freaking dare take it away from me. So did you go through that process at all there in America?
Okay, so because I grew up in Italy and I went to school there, I learned the proper Italian. So I speak both. So I can't relate to that much because I did speak the proper Italian.
Okay.
The only issue I had growing up is when my mother made me lunch, un panino cotolette de pollo, and everybody else was eating the lunch in school, e io mi ricampavo con fruni semolina, cotolette di pollo, pomodoro danno menso. Then she gave me the little snack, Nutella, and the American kids would make fun of me. That's what I went through, okay?
And you know what? That's what's happened here, and our cuisine has changed here in Australia. E ci dice, va fare ora a fare queste cose dopo, che facciamo noi c'è meglio,
E certo che facciamo più meglio noi. They don't know nothing. Io che mi mangiavo un panino con belle cotolette fatte la sera prima, e se americani cretini con peanut butter e jelly, oppure un mangiare a scuola che pareva a Derleo Lucane pareva di mangiare. And you want to make fun of my Nutella sandwich?
I grew up in the 60s, so I'm older than you guys, and I went to school, and my mum used to put a frittata cabastadura in my lunch, and I used to
get. We call that upisciovo, yeah.
We used to pop it bad, or a mortadella.
Yeah. Absolutely, and you know what? They have the audacity to make fun of us when they're eating food. And now
it's a delicacy.
Un mashed potato che pareva sbattuto un muro.
And now it's a delicacy.
Ora sbattono dalla porta. Come fai queste cose?
Exactly.
Ora now it's a delicacy.
Now everybody loves Nutella. Everybody wants Nutella. Everybody wants mortadella and prosciutto and mozzarella. Everybody wants it now.
Everybody wants it. Do you know, I want to say something. I'm listening to all of us talking, and I see a mix-up of different people, different genders, but you, Alessio, I hear you. I hear the New Jersey accent. I hear the Sicilian accent. I hear you. I hear me. I hear Lina. I hear all of us. What I want to really say, it is amazing. It is a test of the Sicilian land, of the island, how we as human beings have been able to adapt to the environment that we are in. That is a result of what we are. We will adapt. The Sicilian in us will adapt in any region that we're in, that we decide to settle in. We will adapt because we've got
everything that we put our mind to. We are lovers. We're fighters.
Warriors. We're warriors.
We're warriors. We will settle. We will do whatever it takes for our families. Absolutely.
It's a test of the human spirit.
Actually,
100%.
can I just, I think I say this thing about me. I'm a warrior with a poet's soul. And I think that's what Sicilians are. We're warriors with poet souls. I think that's what we are.
I love that.
I think that has a lot to do with why a lot of people from the Mediterranean suffer from depression.
Yes.
Because we can't.
We're very sensitive people as well.
Yeah. We can't. If we can't say passionately and be who we are, then we're stifled. We cannot grow.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to break those barriers and become and evolve. Every day is an evolution. And if we don't do that, we become victims. And I refuse that in my life anyway, in my world. Anyway.
We have to stop.
Are we going to stop?
Yeah. Thank you, Alessio, for an amazing hour with you. Like, I can't wait. We will have you again. We will follow you on your journey. Anyone want to follow Alessio? Follow the comedy guy, the Sicilian comedy guy. Thank you, Lina. You're wonderful, taking your time out of your day, out of your schedule, because you've got a campaign.
Are you serious? Yes, I have got, but I've got a campaign. But this is something that's a different layer. I make time for this. This is what makes my heart beat.
I call my people in Australia e ci dico che la votano tutti. But I have no people. I think you're the only two people I know in Australia.
No way!
No way! Beautiful man. We're a star.
Actually, Alessio, you've got a lot of followers that I know that are from Australia. Some of my friends follow you.
No, I do. Yeah, I do.
But
you guys are amazing people. You're straight to the point. I love you guys.
Quando vedi qua, tutti i siciliani vengono, tu a vedere come vengono.
That's what I want. That's life. To be with my people, to enjoy, to talk, to eat. That's life. That's all I want.
I want that. You know what I want? I want to create that beautiful lemon grove and that extended table. And when everybody's sitting there and you're gonna just do some comic acts and say mangiamo ora, adesso è tempo di mangiamo e beviamo, and just laugh and carry on and talk until the sun comes up.
We do the
That's
long
what life is
table.
about. That's what life is about. I love it.
That's what it is. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening in, and stay tuned to this upcoming rising star, comedy star.
Thank you.
See you all.
Thank you, everybody. I love you